Hey gang, Golden Demon here. This week we're going to take a little break from the normal Minecraft content, and I think I'm going to explore a little bit of this game I've been playing called Stranded: Alien Dawn. You can find it anywhere you find your fun PC and platform games. I know at the very least it's on Steam for PC because that's where I'm playing it, and it's definitely on the PlayStation Store as I've played it there before. I think years ago, honestly. The fact that it's on Steam and PC leads me to believe it's probably available for Xbox, but I can't confirm that. I can't find it anywhere on the internet on what it did. I didn't search specifically for is Stranded Dawn available on Xbox, but like I didn't see Xbox mentioned anywhere. But either way. So the wiki describes Stranded Alien Dawn as a third-person, open-world, alien planet shipwreck life simulator, survival, and town builder game. Quite a long description of the game. And the funny part is I would also add that it has a lean into tower defense as well. Because mid to late game ends up being a lot of defend your base from local fauna. These guys that you see on the screen here are mostly like cows and cattle. You know, they're very docile, but that guy right there, he's a big meanie. So yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had, and I thought it might be fun to kind of dive in and do a little bit of this game this week instead of a Minecraft video. So let's get started. The normal setup. This is the straight normal everyday kind of you're new to the game setup. So the scenario being crash landing, they have a couple of different scenarios. Crash landing is the one that I like. That's the one that I like to play no matter what. And then aside from that, there's the regions. Sobrius is what I like to play. In general, it's a nice even world, but then there's a couple of these for different challenges, right? So you've got tropical, covered in dense jungles, you got a desert, and then of course you got random. So we're just going to stay Sobrius for now. And then the moon adjusts some of the difficulty within the game. So like Concordia is a balanced game, right? Everything's fine. And then if you look at this one, you read through it, it says that it provides tough challenges, but gives you time to prepare for them. What the wiki kind of defines that as early on, the challenges are limited. There's not a lot, but then the later challenges are that much worse. So yeah, you change your moon at your own risk. And then this one is, what was it? The night governs everything that lurks in the dark, be it a thought, an action, or a demon. I can't remember what the wiki says about this one. I think this one's like, if you want a challenge, choose this one, which, Jason sounds like a challenge to me, but this is even worse. And then chaos is just all over the place. Your first encounter with the wildlife might be terrible. So, yeah. So we're going to stay with Concordia. We're going to go with game difficult medium. They have the normal, easy through insane type of difficulties. And it looks like it generally just adjusts how much your starting kit has in it. But yeah. And then much like Minecraft, it has a seed. So anything you type here is going to affect the way that your world plays out, or the way that your world looks, right? Is there a ravine where your spaceship landed that's really difficult to build in? Is there cotton nearby? You know, is there grain nearby? That type of stuff is all set by the seed name. Now, you don't know. You can't like go in here and type cotton and know that you're going to have cotton nearby. It's a random generated, just like Minecraft in its string of numbers. This just translates to a string of numbers in the background of the game and generates a seed based on that. So if you were playing a game and I was playing a game, we could both enter the same seed name and our games would look similar. Whereas if we're on different seeds, mine might look like this evergreen forest and yours might look like a cliffside ravine. So there's a lot of opportunity there. I haven't found a lot of available content out on the internet for seed fun like there is for Minecraft. Now Minecraft, you know, is a 25-year-old game and has a lot of traction in the community. So maybe that's why, but I do know that you can very easily go up and you can look up what's a good seed, and there's some not Discord, the Steam. There's some Steam channels dedicated to what's a good seed for finding certain things. But they don't really go into too good a depth. So you can look around. You may have better luck finding them. I don't seem to have very good luck finding them, but we are going to put in something nice and easy. Subscribe to Golden Demon. And we'll see if that does anything. And then there's a full bunch of game rules. I don't really mess around with these too much, but there's some fun stuff in here. Like if you want to random up your game. So then we're just going to hit next, and that's going to take us over to our survivors. Now, the first thing I always do, that they choose 4 random survivors for you, but I just go ahead and I take all those off. What you're looking for in your survivors is over here at the right hand side of the screen. You're going to see what their skills are. And then you're going to also see somewhere here in the middle. Yeah, right here in the middle, like Annette here is compassionate. She always makes others happy by cheering them up, but she's also a slowpoke. So her movement speed is decreased by 25%. The number of times that movement speed decreased by 25% will bone you in game is high. Just from day-to-day transporting items from one side of the map to the other, you know, from the crash site to your newly developing community center, you know, whether it be a set of shelves or just a dump spot that you've made for your items. She's going to move 25% slower the whole time. I have found that the movement speed decrease is really bad. There's a bunch of other ones. I'm not going to go through them all, but like Carter here has fast learner. That's really good. Entertainment junkie needs to relax twice as often. He'll start complaining earlier that he needs entertainment. There are some early options in the game, like a shooting range, that allow you to have entertainment even before you have like electric and whatnot. So it's not too bad of a downside, and fast learner is nice. So what I end up doing, is I typically go for almost the same 4 survivors every time. I really like them. They work well together. They don't ever seem to get on each other's nerves. And 2 of them are cousins. So I like Ken. Ken is a great combatant, and he's interested in combat, and he gains happiness when he's out in combat and experiences killing or death. So the fact that he does all that when he's in combat is just great. He really advances his skill quickly. Combine that with the fact that he finds twice more scrap when he does scavenging operations. So he ends up being a really great scavenger, which is when you're not in battle, he can be out scavenging. And when you are in battle, you're probably not going to have people out scavenging anyway. So he tends to be a really good first pick for me. We're just going to slot him into Survivor 1. And then we'll go through some others here. Another one that I tend to enjoy a lot is Rita. Rita ends up being a great support kind of role. The fact that she's interested in cooking, interested in farming, means that she'll always be cooking. She'll always be keeping up the farms. The farming actually also supports ranching. So like if you keep animals, she's really good with all that. And then her traits are pretty easy. The natural curiosity, has a chance to field observe when she's on expeditions, means that she's really good for the balloon expeditions. And then has a permanently increased happiness. That's awesome. And then as you see below, she's a cousin of Rocka. We'll look at him next. Because you're like, cousin of Rocka, so that might be nice for them to have, together time, right? And if you look at Rocka, based on the other two survivors we've already picked, we've got Ken, who's combatant and the scavenger. We've got Rita, who was good at farming and good at cooking. And now you have Rocka, who's good at construction, crafting, and indifferent at healing. The indifferent at healing many people won't take him because he's indifferent at healing. And I get that. It's kind of a gamble. You can get into scuffles where all of your survivors need to be healing themselves. And the fact that he's indifferent to healing means that more than likely he's just going to go to bed and wait for somebody to do it. So it's a bit of a gamble, I admit. But the other things that he has going for him really make him pretty solid choice. He constructs structures twice as fast. He does have a permanently decreased happiness. It's that again. I would say he might be a controversial choice, but I like the fact that he's cousins with Rita. I don't think that really does anything in game too much, but I like it. I think it's fun. And then from there, you can look down the skills here. So combat, we've got covered. Construction, we've got covered. Cooking, crafting, farming, healing, we have. So these two, Rita and Ken, they're not indifferent, but they're not interested. They don't have healing. Okay. They don't have a really good healing. And then we also have intellect and physical. So Rocka's actually not bad at the intellect to start out. He's got 3 points in it. That's not bad. And the physical, all of them will increase in physical. Don't worry about physical too much because they're going to be walking a lot. Just anything they do, carrying supplies, hand-to-hand combat with the local fauna. There's a lot of things that increase the physical. I wouldn't worry about that one too much. So we're looking for somebody that might be a healer, might be an intellect, might be physical, and physical being the long third place. And then anything else, obviously. One of my favorite ones, because we're looking at intellect mostly, we need a researcher, right? Rocka's going to be okay. Rita's going to be okay. Ken's going to be okay. They all are okay at the research stuff, but they're not great. So I tend to look for somebody who's going to fill that role. Who was it that I chose last time? So I've played, I've played this game a few times, gotten decently far, and, just start over. Like you get so far and you go, okay, I've learned some things. I'm going to go back and start from the beginning because I think I can do better. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Where is Quinn? That's what it was. Yeah. So Quinn is my go-to for intellect and that slot, right? So his traits, loves going on expeditions. Expeditions take less time. So he can go in the balloon later and be gone and back quicker than most. Cheerful has permanently increased happiness. Having more than one of those survivors is nice. So we have Quinn, and then who else do we have? Rita. Both of those two are permanently increased happiness. And then he's interested in intellect, and he's got a decent construction, decent crafting, decent physical. He has a 0 healing, but he's not disinterested in it. So we can know that he will heal. It's just he's not going to be very good at it to begin with. And then while we're here on Quinn, we can also look at, so these little gray arrows tell you that in your 3 survivors that you've already got picked up here, this is where your highest skill rate is. So we've got somebody that's the same as intellect as him, but Quinn is interested. So that's good. He's interested in the intellect. So he's going to want to go to the research table. He's going to want to go to observe your plant life. Then you also have like physical, and we have somebody that's really good at farming. We don't have anybody that's really good at crafting, but remember, we have Raka who's interested in crafting. So his skill's going to increase quicker. And then we have somebody who's kind of good at cooking. That's Rita. She's interested in cooking though. Oh no, I guess no. Raka has a 2 in cooking, which, yeah, he's not interested, but he will do it. And then we have construction. This 5 in construction is the highest we have. So he's not only, Raka's interested in it, so he's going to gain a little faster, but Quinn's not bad at it. And then he's indifferent to combat. He will do it. There are other survivors. Let me see if I can find him. Is it Daniel? Yeah. Daniel's a pacifist, and he will not go into combat, period. So Quinn, though indifferent, will go into combat, especially if you draft and send him in yourself and do all the thing. And I'll show all that later. But Quinn's my typical 4th go, and that rounds out my my survivors to 4. There are a lot of good choices here for a researcher. I do believe, no, not Laura. Krista is one of the highest to start intellects. She's got a 7. Melody is interested. She's another one that I've taken before. Very similar to Quinn in that she has an indifferent in a spot where I wouldn't love it. Quinn's got it in combat. She's got it in construction. I really like people to be able to, okay, all hands on deck, we're constructing a house, right? But she also is a healer. I forgot that she was a healer and incapable of failing a medical treatment. Motivates others to increase. Now, see, you guys, I'm starting to second guess Quinn. I might go Melody this time. Just because she's probably just better. Interested in both healing and intellect. And then decent skills across the board. He's only got 1 interest, but it is intellect. We don't have anybody interested in healing. Yeah, I think Melody's going to be the go-to. But let's look through a couple while we're here and just kind of look for, is there anybody else that's high or interested in intellect? Oh, indifferent. Yeah, we definitely don't want that. Oh, she's got a really high healing. He's interested in healing, but combat incapable. We don't really like pacifists. I don't disagree with their outlook in a real world setting, but the fact that you're going on to a planet and there's only 4 of you, a pacifist does make your game a lot harder. If you feel like taking them to up the challenge, go for it. But yeah, just know that they won't fight. Let's see, Nova, intellect incapable. No, we're trying to fill the researcher spot, so that's not going to happen. Paulette, there's Quinn. Incapable of healing. Well, yeah, that's tough. Interested in physical. That's interesting. Let's look at his traits. Seeds and harvest plants twice as fast, so he's a good farmer. Haggler, while in the colony, all trade ships sell goods at 5% discount. Yeah. Nice. Oh, in the trading post scenario. That's neat. Can't perform cooking tasks. Yeah. Nice healing, low intellect, but not disinterested at least. Can't fail medical treatment. That's another, yeah. She's another one like Melody. Musical prodigy. Makes others happy when playing music. That's something to keep in mind. So about, I'd say late early game, you get the opportunity to research musical instruments. Or you might even be able to research it from Go. But obviously it's not high on your list. And once you do, the musical instruments that you can make straight out the gate are like a didgeridoo, which is just wood, and a hand pan, which is a little bit of metal and some wood. Really easy to make. And then people can play music as their entertainment. Remember, there was the other survivor that wanted entertainment all the time. She apparently will increase everybody's happiness when she's playing. But sickly, recovers health twice as slow. That's a little rough right there. She's the wife of Grayson. Where's Grayson? Movement speed decreased by 25%. So that's probably why I've skipped over her a lot. Because I look at something like this and go, wife of Grayson, obviously if they're husband and wife, I'd really like to have both if I'm going to have one or the other, right? But I stay the hell away from 25% decrease. 4 times work speed when crafting and constructing stuff with wood. So it's great that he's faster when he's doing wood, but you move past a lot of wood construction pretty early on. Like my first fence half the time is stone instead of wood. So yeah. Grayson's not great. So there was Vanessa. Agoraphobia. Happiness decreases while outside. Yeah, that sounds fun. Son of Vivian. Okay, so yeah, and again, so agoraphobia would be kind of complicated to deal with, but I wouldn't be too awful. High intellect, and a combat interested but a low skill means that eventually his combat's going to increase pretty well. So I would definitely contemplate Umair here, but the fact that he's son of Vivian makes me think, okay, maybe I want to take Vivian along as well. And she's the one that can't heal. And that makes me nervous. I don't like having people who can't heal around. And then our last guy to look at is Xander, Mr. Scally Face here. Gloomy personality. You can tell by the picture. Cousin of Nova. Nova was, will not do. Oh yeah, she's not an intellect person, but a decent healing. The only other thing that Nova would be good at starting out is combat. And man, I just can't get away from Ken for a combatant, for a good starting combatant. He's got the interest in the combat, and he has the downtime of a really, the trait experienced scrapper. So yeah, I can't get away from him. So Xander, not all that good. Not especially when you start pairing him with Nova. So I think we're going to go Melody. that was a lot of talking for, 4 survivors. I get it. But there's a lot to kind of go over and a lot to look into as you craft your 4-person team. And like I've said, your 4-person team can really help craft your difficulty of game as well. There's a lot of these traits. So we look at Connor here. He's intimidating, which occasionally intimidates others, making them feel unease. I've taken him once because his combat was high and he was interested and shoots twice as fast with ranged weapons. And that really looked appetizing to me to have him as the combatant. Boy, that occasionally intimidates others is a real problem. He pisses people off is what he does. So you just watch your traits, but know that every one of those traits can make the game easier or harder. And some of them, maybe you do want to make it harder. Maybe like Kana here, you want to play the game as a vegetarian. And the fact that she is a vegetarian makes you feel like that's a good stepping stone into that type of play style. So it's a lot of fun crafting your group. And I'd say take your time with it. It's kind of fun. So let's go ahead and start. And then that's going to give us the little loading screen. Go. And then we get a nice cinematic of what does my planet look like? Oh, it looks like we might get to be up on this little plateau. Great. So the first thing I do is I hit spacebar and pause. So all your time things are right up here in the corner, just like most city builders like this. So you've got control over that. So like I said, the first thing I do is I pause using the spacebar, and then I look around. I just take a gander. We are up here on a plateau. The ground's a bit iffy because there's a lot of these spaceship debris in the way. And even once you clear these divots in the ground, you can't farm through those. So like farmland is gonna be, I mean, it's not bad. There's definitely some spots, but farmland might be difficult up here. Look around and things like this being this close to us is kind of abnormal. And I don't know how good that is. So these are insect nests. Very, very difficult to take on. They'll usually have a lot of these little guys, and they are mean. They have a ranged attack and really nasty melee attacks. So this game promises to be complicated. We'll see how it goes. The one thing I will say, that it seems to be almost easy mode for food. So we've got a small, tiny herd of these guys. I think they call them Ulfin over here. And you'll see you have controls when you highlight something. When you click and highlight something, you have observe or hunt. Observe will give you a name for them, and it'll tell you a lot of stuff about them. It'll tell you, like, for animals, it'll tell you if it's tameable, if it's even past that, if it's trainable. There are dogs in the game, and you can train the dogs to do things. You've got these insect creatures. You can observe them, and that'll tell you exactly what you can do for them. Both this group of creatures and this group of creatures can be ranched. So you can, and there's some more over here. You can tame them and bring them in and have them just chilling in a ranch. And what that'll do is eventually they'll have a baby. And then it takes you a year or two to mature the baby, and then you do the bad thing and slaughter for food. Bad thing. You do the thing and slaughter them for food. So you've got wood around, you've got these trees, just about everything you can click on, and you'll be able to observe just about everything. This water in the middle of the place really annoys me as well. You've even got rocks. You can't observe the rocks. They're rocks. We're past that. So, but you can mine them. Anything you make out of stone, you're going to have to mine rocks. There's some later technologies that you can get more, but so yeah. So what we're going to do is we're first off going to start by observing some things. We're going to set up. So since we're still paused, we're going to set up to observe this tall leafy plant. I know this to be grain. Grain is friggin' awesome. Long shelf life. You can make it into some pretty boring meals, but you can move past eating rations pretty quickly that way. These little wide leaf plants over here, those are probably tobacco. These berries, peculiar bush, are the berries that you'll need to tame these guys. So we're going to go ahead and observe those. While we're at it, we're going to go ahead and observe an Ulfen. And then we're going to get a few of these other things out of the way. Shiny rock, interesting rock, and the melons. You can observe the trees and bushes and such as well. That's a broadleaf. I'm looking for grass, though. I'm not seeing any of that. I don't want to get too close to this insect nest over here, because if you get close, they actually aggro to you. But I do... Oh, there we go. There's bladed grass. Might be this one I can observe. And then these bright leaf plants. Those are cotton. We can go to these over here, I think. Yeah, that looks like it's good. There's also these critters. Those are something you can hunt. And obviously you can observe them, just like you can observe just about everything in the game. But you cannot tame those. They're not a... They say something like they're too primitive to be able to be tamed. I keep seeing this bit of red here, and that is nothing. That's weird. So that's a bunch of observing set up. And then you have, longer afield. You can go farther out. Your people can walk a good long way and do stuff. You'll just want to be mindful if you're sending them far out. It's very possible that they'll get stuck after dark and they'll decide to just sleep out under the stars. Later on, you can get them a sleeping bag and stuff to take with them. These pointy red plants are important. That's silicone. So eventually you'll be making your own electronic components, and you'll be farming these guys. This is an interesting plant that's kind of like a leather when you research it. There's more of the cotton. Yeah. So that's the stuff that's up here. I'm going to probably have to come up here to get the silicone eventually. And then you can also observe these. You can observe the nest formations. But the moment you get close, the critters are going to come after you. So obviously we'll want to, save that for when we're a little bit better off. So that's all of that. Now, one of the first things, we've got Ken, right? Oh, you know what? Let's go through scheduling and activities. So scheduling. this is definitely, I don't know that there's a best practice in this. So you can either look up some stuff on the internet and find out if there's more best practice, or you can do like I do and just wing it. So obviously it's set up on a 24-hour day. If you don't know, like the 24-hour day type thing, 24 is right at midnight. So at 22, that would be about 10 o'clock at night, right? So what I usually do is I'll click here on sleep, and then I unclicked it then. And then I tell them, you got to go to bed at 10. Okay. And then you're going to sleep till 5. Now that's only 7 hours sleep, but we're also going to do the thing where we go, okay. And then when you get up, you're going to relax. That means that they can actually sleep in if they wanted to. And then we're going to go work through the whole day. And then we're going to do a break of anything in the middle of our day. The break of anything, I try to stagger. So I give somebody like 10 and 15, give the next person 11 and 16, one person 12 and 17, and this one 13 and 18. And what that means is that somebody's always working. There's only one person out at a time. I don't know. It might not matter, but that's what I like to do. That is a long work day. They will eventually start to break down and have issues. So I would say revisit your schedule once you're a little bit more established, or maybe if you get another survivor or two, revisit your schedule so that you're not working them too hard always. Once you're kind of out of the woods, you can revisit it. And let's go to activities. So you can stay with simple, and that's, that means Ken either does this activity or doesn't do this activity. I like to go with the priority system. I set them all to 5. And then after I set everything to 5, I go back through and find out what people are good at. Oh, and as you see right up here above, you have an increased priority with left click and a decreased priority with right click. High priority is not a high number. You'll see as it goes down to 2, it turns green, and 1. That means 1 is their first priority. 5 is their last. So keep in mind when setting these priorities that 5 is the one they won't do, and 1 is the one they'll do first. I get that backwards when I come back to the game from being gone for a while. And then I'm wondering why the hell, Melody isn't doing the research all the time. I've got her set at a 5. What the hell's going on? And then, it takes me a while to figure it out. Go, oh yeah, that's right. It has to be at 1. 1 is the high priority. I like to fill them all in. Give everybody a priority on everything. You can go the other way and just have them blank. If you have them blank, they will never do that task. So then once you have everybody set to kind of a baseline, I go back through and I'll set at least one person on every task to a priority of 1. Heal, I like to have everybody at a priority of 1. I might take Chad Rakah off of it because he's indifferent, but I think for now I'll leave him at a 1. Handling, nobody's really good at it, but obviously you're going to need somebody that always handles. I'm going to take everybody down to 4 for now. We'll see how that goes. I might move somebody to a 1. I don't know who yet though. So then we get into the ones that's kind of easier. So this is, Rakah is interested in constructing. and then Ken has a 1 in it. So what we'll do is we'll set Ken to a 3. We'll set Raka to a 1. Because we want Ken to kind of pick up the slack, but we want any construction being done by Raka. Then we go to the next one. And we'll do this for all this stuff. So that's what we got. It's not perfect. You can always come back and tweak, though. So that's kind of the outlook I have on it. I end up tweaking it a lot. Probably because I don't take the time to set it really good the first time. And then the moment you unpause, you'll start seeing the game play out. Obviously, we just saw another spaceship piece come down and take out some of our land out here, and then another one come down. But these spaceship pieces are scavenge opportunities, so we also have that. I've left the game on the slowest setting that's not paused, just to kind of show you what's going on. So Ken immediately started scavenging. Melody's still crying. Rita is observing the grain. And Raka has moved on to observing the peculiar bush. The moment, I've just paused again, the moment we go in here and go, okay, that's great and all, but I need a place to put all this stuff. So let's go ahead and make some storage. Storage is a lot better when it's covered. So we're going to take the scrap metal that we're getting from this scavenging, and we're going to make a quick little lean-to hut. All right, we're just going to go 1. We're going to build them out this way. 2, 3. And what that does is give us long lines, so we can go in here and stockpile, and we can go boom, and make 6 tiles of stockpile on this side, and then if I had to press shift, I'd have held it down. Let's go over a little bit of controls. So when you hit stockpile, you get your little controller guy, and this is just me moving the mouse around. You can left click, and that starts your line. Now you can go left, right. So now you're kind of locked into one place. I've let go of the mouse button. I left clicked once. But then you go down here and say, I wanted 6 tiles. Now, if you hold shift, you'll put those 6 tiles in place. Hold shift and hit and click. But you'll still have your thing to put another group of them. Like I could put another group over here, but I'm not going to do that. Right click cancels. So now we've got a bit of a construction project here, right? We've got some sheet metal, scrap metal shelters, and we've got even, stockpiles. It says construction. All it really is just designating a spot to throw stuff on the ground. But since we're doing it under these little shelters, that means that it will go into the category of under roof. So things last longer based on if it's out in the open, if it's under a roof, if it's refrigerated, or if it's frozen. Obviously, just from living life, you know that food lasts a lot longer when you freeze it. So getting to the point to where we can freeze our food is kind of a high priority, right? But that's going to take some time. We're going to have to do some research and all that. So we just put up our little lean-to, and let's let them start doing their stuff. Now, I typically play almost always on the fastest speed. So we're just going to hit that, and we're going to let them go. Let them truck. Now, you see Raka already switched. He said, oh, there's a construction project. I like construction. So he goes and starts constructing. And now Ken is doing his scavenging, but he's also got, transporting, and he's got these stockpiles real close by, so he's able to go and make the stockpiles, or put the stuff in the stockpiles. I can't see where he did it. Somewhere over here. Oh, maybe he didn't. Oh, I know what it was. He probably brought over some scrap metal, and Raka used it to build the shelters. Over here on the right's all our, what's going on. So now we have some metal. It's raining. There's broadleaf. And we need 4 beds. We knew we'd need beds, right? Of course we did. We can't build a house yet. We don't have the technology. We don't know how to do it. So we have to do a shelter just like these. And what I typically do was somewhere near this, I put up my shelters, because they're going to put food in here for a while, or somewhere. We might build another one to make food easier. But so I'm going to put down 2. So I've got this highlighted, right? I'm going to hold shift as I click, and that's going to do the thing where it places 1 down, but keeps my thing. And then I'm going to do a second one. So I'm going to do 2 right next to each other like that, right? Now we're going to go back to camp. They said we need beds. Oh, bedroll needs fabric. Where am I getting fabric from? I'm hoping there's some scavengeable somewhere. First aid kits. I don't think I've spent as much time as I have paused as I did this trying to explain stuff. So hopefully we'll find some fabric somewhere. I always seem to, like, I can usually make these pretty early, so I don't know. We're just going to toss them down. And then what'll happen is they won't make them until they have the material. So again, I've got it clicked, and I'm going to hold shift and click, shift and click, shift and click, and then just click. I've got 4 survivors. I need 4 beds. You can, using your schedule, do the thing where maybe you've got 2 survivors that work through the night and sleep through the day. You can set that up. I never do that, but it is definitely possible. So now we're going to, and this is just the scroll wheel. And then this is the WASD. Is it WASD? WASD movements on the keyboard. So yeah. So then I scroll out, and spacebar again will get us started back into wherever the last active was. So we just researched our grain. I paused again. So if you hover over it, you see what's going on over here. And then if you click into it, you get a little bit more of an overview. Hey, this is what green cob is. It's grain. It's just corn. And then we also discovered the fruit bush. Oh, the fruit bush gives us berries. Okay, that's nice. Unpause. Rita's observing a shiny rock. Melody's gone out to look at the squash. Raka's doing back to construction. He's doing the shelters. Oh, there he goes doing the sleeping spots. We must have had some fabric or something. I don't know how, but. And see, since everybody has a priority of something on everything, I only had observation tasks left. So even Raka is now out observing. If I had a second scavenge, he might go to scavenge instead. So you can see they're all eating. They're all eating standing up. And yep, you see it right there. 8 on foot, -6. They don't like doing that. They're going to complain that they don't like eating standing up. What that means is you just need some furniture. We don't have the wood yet. I mean, it is our first night. I just paused again. That's our first day. So we've already got sleeping spots. We've got a little hut with our just basic storage. So what we're going to do, I've got it paused here. I'm going to go into this and I'm going to say, okay, I don't want to put anything except construction materials in these stockpiles. So we are going to uncheck everything else. Why would we do that? Tell me, Golden Demon, why the hell would we do that? And then what we're going to do, we're going to copy these restrictions. We're going to click here. That's going to highlight these stockpiles. And we're going to paste the restrictions. And you see that all went away. Why would we do that? Well, I am going to get into the camp again, get into another shelter, and we're going to expand this down one full length. Was it here? Yeah. One full length, right? So now we've got that much space, and then we're going to put in shelves. Shelves hold a lot more of the smaller items. So we've got those shelves. Now we can make more storage shelves down this and, well, no, this is the stockpiles. We can make more storage shelves down this, but I'm going to leave this area blank for now because I think I might need another set of stockpiles before I need another set of shelves. So I've unpaused. However, they're sleeping, so there's not a lot going on. So you just see, and it gave me a really nasty sound. Insufficient storage space. There's no storage space for your rations, your med kits, or that pistol. Oh, which by the way, we need to equip that pistol to somebody. Probably our best combatant. But the reason it says we don't have that storage is because I set all these to kick that storage stuff out of here, and they haven't built the shelves yet. There's going to be a place for them. They just haven't built them yet. So it's just a matter of time. How we equip stuff. So you'll go to you click on your dude, right? Well, let's start over. Click on your dude. That brings up his thing. This has a bunch of little tabs that you can click through. You know, you can tell him, which I think we're going to do very soon here. You can actually tell them not to eat emergency rations. I always do that because the survivors, I don't know why, they will go to the emergency rations first every time. We could have fresh fruit, dried meat. It doesn't matter. They're going to go straight for the freaking emergency rations. We want the emergency rations to stick around for what? Yes, emergencies. So we highlight him. We're not going to do this yet though, because we don't have any other food. We're going to go to his inventory. We're just going to click on the gun one. That's a ranged weapon. And we're going to click that. And you see the line just popped up. That means Ken is going over here to pick up. Oh, there it is even. He's going to pick up and equip that laser pistol. And that just means now we have at least one person that's armed. You'll notice a bunch of the wildlife's kind of creeping around, right? We don't have to worry about these guys. Unless we go to attack, like when we're going to hunt them, unless we move to attack, they won't attack us first. That's the same thing with these guys, the same thing with these guys, unless it's an aggressive animal event. Then we'll go over that. Probably not even in this video. That seems to be a long time thing. So Ken is getting some of these bushes out of the way, storing some sticks, right? We got some sticks now. You can see we've got food. We've got some fresh berries. Now that we've got fresh berries, I paused. We want to go and tell our people to not eat rations. Don't do that. Don't eat rations. So, and just like the preferences in the stockpiles over here, we can copy that restriction, go over here and paste. We're just going to paste that restriction into everybody. We're going to keep them on raw food for now because fruits are a good raw food. Eventually, we'll find meat as a raw food, and we want to uncheck that because the silly boys will eat the meat without cooking it. Unpause. Rita's observing her shiny rock. Rock is going to go look at the interesting rock. Ken is still scavenging, and Melody's over there doing the bright leaf. So again, we're all observing. Very soon here, yep, we're going to need to construct our research bench. Let's go ahead and just drop that right here. We don't have a house yet, so we're kind of just living out on the plains. See, Raka, he got to a certain point, or stopping point in his observing, and said, oh, look, I need to I need to go and construct that research desk. This is interesting. Discovered silicone deposit. Oh. Nope, it's not that one. It's these. Okay. I forgot, or maybe I never knew, that there's silicone deposits in rock formations. I've always thought that the only way to get silicone was through... Oh, that birdie died. Huh. I've always thought that it was only through these guys, through the pointy plants. But apparently you can get them other places. Cool. And unpause. So now Raka's done the research bench, and he's running off to observe his rock again. So we paused it real quick. We're going to choose some research. You click the desk, click the research, and here's all your options. I like to highlight over and get rid of that little star. I don't know why they show up early. The first thing I always research. It only takes you 3 hours. It's really important. Do the lightning rods. For the love of God, do the lightning rods. It only takes you a little bit of scrap metal to put one up. And what it does is there are thunderstorms often. And when there's a thunderstorm, it can strike your survivors, and it can also strike your structures, and it will damage stuff. So always lightning rods first. And then from there, just your own decisions, whatever you like. There's a lot of different paths to take. I typically, like in my work life, I'm a supervisor, I'm a manager, and I often tell my people, I'm not here to do your job for you. I can definitely tell you what I've figured out over the years, but if you think you want to do it a different way, go for it. If it's not going to cause problems, go for it. Not researching lightning rods first is probably going to cause you problems. But if you really don't want to do that, go for it. Go somewhere else. Go do a different thing. That's great. You be you. My next stop is usually stuff like the smithings and the tailorings. Toolsmith is only 6 hours, while these two are 12 hours. So I tend to knock out easier ones first. So I'll go with this and then that and that. And then I'll round out my 5 research things with metal refinement today. The last time I played, it was probably something different. Maybe it was animal taming. I'm actually going to stay away from animal taming this time, I think, because I found cobs so early. I think in the next 3 or 4 minutes, I'm probably going to already set up a food farm. Yeah. So unpaused. Rock is going back to his rock. And then Rita will soon, maybe after she's done observing this, or maybe it's Melody. Oh, it's Melody that's the researcher. One of them will move on to researching. I don't have a lot to observe left. I've got this, we've got the rock, we've got the grass, and we've got the olfin. So sometime one of these three will move on to researching. You see cloth blossom. You see it right there in the middle of the screen. That will give you cloth. Grains and bushes. We have big bushes. Those will give you sticks. We have food crops. Now we have buttermelons. Those count as vegetables. We've got a lot popping up over here, so I'm going to pause and we'll go through some stuff. So we've got an ore deposit. This gives you mining. This gives you ore when you mine it, as opposed to just concrete or rocks or whatever. We've got the silicone deposit. We already went over that. That gives you the opportunity to do electronics later. We've got cloth blossom. That makes you cloth. We've got the buttermelons. Those are just a food source. And it's very important to note that buttermelons count as a vegetable, where these blueberries or bush fruits do not. It's a fruit. It's not a vegetable. And then blade grass. Blade grass gives you hay. That's kind of important. It's not one that you'll use a ton of. Like with this much right here, I'll probably just mark these all to cut, and that'll probably be enough hay for me for a while. So we're going to unpause. See, they're going to eat fruit now. And Rita's going to observe her big-horned animal. Oh yeah, we ate on foot. Let's go ahead, and in this little spot behind here, I paused. We've got the opportunity to make some furniture now. Oh, we still only have... Let's observe that tree and cut down some others. Let's go there. 4 small broadleaf trees. We're going to cut those down. We're observing the one. We observe the one so that we have the opportunity to we are paused. That apparently meteors still go on while you're paused. We observe it so that way we have the opportunity to make a farm later. Because as you see, even the big bushes, we can make a farm of those. We can, create a square area and put big bushes in it and just farm them for more sticks. So now it's nighttime and everybody's sleeping. Oh yeah, I said I wouldn't. Oh no, but I want to get wood. So we've got these slated to cut, and we've got these slated to cut down. And currently, obviously, everybody's sleeping. But even before that, they weren't doing the work that I wanted them to do. So we might have to go adjust our activities, priorities. Yeah, that's another thing. When they're this close together and not in their own rooms, every time they wake up, they get disturbed sleep because, somebody wakes up first and walks in front of them. And that person that woke up first got disturbed sleep when everybody else was coming to bed. So there's definitely a happiness factor in making them their own rooms. I never try to do that early on like this with the shelters. We probably could make 4 different shelters and have them to where they don't interrupt each other's sleep, but it's I never try. I never bother. When I make a house, though, I make sure that I'm going to have separate rooms for people. Okay, good. So Raka's observing and Ken is cutting. So now we've got some wood. Oh, and Rita's researching. That's good. So now we got our lightning rods. We're getting some wood. Let's go ahead and do our lightning rod first because we want that in place. We really just want to cover our little camp. So we're just going to do that. And then we're getting wood from Ken. So let's go back into furniture and make us a table. I don't know why. I like the wooden table better. So we're just going to go right into this corner here and we're going to plunk down our table. When you plunk a table down, it goes straight to chairs. You see the weird arrows? That means that's where the people are going to approach that chair from. And if they're green, that means they can get there. So we're just going to plunk a chair. Oh, I did the thing. I didn't hold shift. So we're just going back to chair, back to wood. Now we're going to hold shift and click, click, click. We're going to go ahead and put a fifth one just in case we get a fifth survivor soon. Now we're unpausing and hopefully Raka, after he's done observing this leaf, will do our constructing. Oh, he stopped midway. So somebody else will pick up that. Ken's going to get the hay. Melody's observed the Ulfen. You see here, taming food is the berries. It requires a skill farming 3 to tame them. Retaliation on fail is 10%, so 10% of the time they'll attack the person trying to tame them. And can be trained is a no. The trained part means can they be trained for tricks, right? So now that's the Ulfen. This is the little write-up on them. It also gives you a statue every time you discover a new animal. We also discovered the small broadleaf. Basically a little tree. Deciduous, not evergreen. So Raka's almost done researching the next thing. Rita's transporting some rations. We've researched toolsmithing now. So remember I was talking about relaxation and leisure. There's your shooting range. You see it's only a little bit of hay, a little bit of wood. And then as you damage it with shooting at it, you have to repair it with hay. I won't set that up quite yet. But now we've got trees. We can grow trees in our little farms. Let's go ahead and set up a farm. So you see the little thing, it shows us that the soil here is clay. We're going to look for better soil. Here's some better soil. That's silt. Is there any better? Holy crap. There's a tiny little bit of good soil here. There's some here. And it's not even the best soil. That's silt. There's the best soil. But this is really close to the insect thing. We don't want to go there. This isn't bad. This is obstructed access. So down here along the edge, it looks like this is really good soil just on the edge of the thing. So we're going to come up here and maybe here. We don't need it to be huge. The biggest you can make a grain cob field is 10 by 10. If you make that, you are going to be inundated with grain. You're going to have a lot. So I think we're going to go with 7 by 7 because you see that soil loam. And then when we go to 8 by 8, we catch some of the silt. Maybe we'll do a 9 by 7, 9, 10. Oh, maybe a 10 by 6. There we go. That gives us still 100% growth, but also keeps the farm kind of small or smaller than a full 10 by 10. So all we've done is outline that. Now, the moment I unpause here, they're going to start working on clearing it. Somebody is, hopefully. Yeah, Ken's going to go start cutting. That's going to cut some wood. That's going to cut some berry bushes. and it's going to cut versus harvest. So if you click on a regular bush, you can cut it or you can harvest it. When you cut it, output when cut, you only get sticks. So we could have highlighted these to gather the berries first, but I didn't bother. We also need the sticks, so. And now, way before it's all the way cleared, Rita has popped in and started planting because she set it a priority 1 to cover farming and ranching. So we're at the level we can't scavenge any. Oh no, we can. Ken is still cutting. I wonder why he's cutting instead of scavenging. Activities, Ken. Oh, he set it a level 1 to cut as well. So the way the priorities work is they read from left to right. So there's nobody to heal. There's nothing to hunt. There is stuff to cut. So he's cutting before he gets to scavenging. We don't have anybody else that wants to cut at a priority 1. So it's probably good that he's taking care of that. Melody was just doing a little bit of scavenging because she's set at priority 3s and 5s all the way through to observe, and we don't have any observing. She set it a 1 for researching, but somebody else was researching at the time. We only have the 1 table. So now we've got some grain planted, right? And we're gonna, how much food do we have? Oh, we've ran out of our berries. The only thing we have left is our emergency rations. So let's mark this berry patch to harvest. And hopefully Rita will go and do some harvesting right away. Yep, there she goes. They didn't get breakfast this morning. It looked like they sat, but they didn't do any breakfast. So now with these berries in place, and you saw that small area of berries, right? That gave us 190 berries. I'm pretty sure when they eat, yeah, you see they're eating 10. When they eat 10 berries. So that's 19 meals divided by 4. So that's four full meals. And I think they eat morning and night. So 2 days about, right? That's not a lot. Now we've got the workbench and we've got the tailor bench. Let's go ahead and make a workbench. We're going to make them out of wood. Rocco will stop researching for a moment and construct that bench. Oh, see, Rita took it over. See, Rita had an argument with Rocco. Okay, and I paused. Now we're getting to the spot where we've got idle people, right? They got the little question mark. They don't know what to do. I don't have anything to do. What am I going to do? We've got Rita scavenging, right? So her activities, Rita is our rancher and our farmer, right? And our cook. We don't have a cook thing yet. So she's out scavenging. Well, since she's out scavenging, Ken's not out scavenging. So now we need to add in other things. So let's add in the scavenge, right? Let's add in another observe. Or 2. Oh, that's a dead bird. I see. Oh, small evergreen. We haven't observed that. Let's go over here and observe that. We're just getting a little bit of work together so that we don't have people standing around. Raka stopped researching. We don't want him to do that. We'd rather somebody always be researching. So we're going to pause. Oh, we discovered our Draka. That's these guys. The big, let's go ahead. There we go. Big insecty kind of guy, right? It's kind of like an insect cow. And if you go in here, you see, the patterns on the back of the animal with the big flat head are very similar to those of small Draka insect native to my homeworld. So I felt like naming it Draka. Much to my surprise, it seems to be peaceful herbivore. The elevated position of its eyes allow it to keep watch for predators and danger. And you see, like even just as a high level looking at the game, I like this type of thing because it kind of teaches you, where a thing's eyes are positioned on it will lead you to the thinking that tells you it's a herbivore, right? Because its eyes are up top to keep watch for predators. So you know that it's a prey animal in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. That type of thing in a game really seems neat. I like that. So let's see. Oh, I said I want somebody always researching, and Raka is apparently over here doing that. So let's go to research. Melody is interested. She's the one we want researching all the time. No ifs, ands, or buts. So we're going to go ahead and set her observe to 2. And that should mean that she stops observing. Oh, she's already moving that way. So that's good. Can I can make a cook stove. Okay, let's make a cook stove as well. And just for interest of the video, I'm going to get rid of these bushes here because they're in my way. Now we've researched weaponsmithing. That's good. Small evergreen tree. Planting these will be good for wood. I mean, it's sometimes there's not a lot of description here. Let's see. That's the workbench. So now we have when you go into a workbench, these are all kind of the same way. You'll have things you can do. We don't have a lot of crafting we can do yet. But what we do have the opportunity to do is spears and crossbows. Those are really good to have. So you can do times, and that means it'll only do it 10 times. You can do it until, and that means somebody will keep making spears until there's this many on hand. So if you equip one, it takes it out of inventory and it's this person's. So then it would make another one, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to craft until we've got 2 extra spears. And then we hit the back button. And now you see the task. We are crafting spears until we have 2 in stock. Currently we have 0. Now somebody, whoever the crafter is, I think it's Raka and Ken, will come over at some point and start crafting. The food cooking, the weapons, the tailoring, all of that follows that same kind of layout. So you have recipes down on the right, and then the tasks that have been assigned are here in the middle. So we don't have any meat. We don't have any vegetables. We might be able to go get some of those butter squash. Yeah, we could just harvest these and bring them back, and then we can make vegetable soup. But we don't have that. We don't have grain even yet. We've got grain growing. And if we harvested it right now, it would be 0. But you see, when we harvest it when it's full, it's going to be 600 grain. That's going to be a lot. So back to the cooking. We don't have any quick recipes. We've got a cooked emergency ration. I don't ever see the benefit. I'd rather just not bother dealing with our emergency rations at all. If we can start not using them, great. We'll just let them rot on a shelf somewhere, and hopefully we don't need them. And then you go into tasty recipes. Obviously, we don't have anything for that. We can't even make a simple recipe yet. And then there's a chef's recipe as well that are even higher. And each level gives you a different happiness effect. Like if they eat a fruit cake, they get happy because they've eaten, a really good food. So, and then these are in the 12s, and then quick recipes are in the 6s. And you'll see that when they eat. See, they're all eating some berries. So now we're down to 140 berries. Not bad. But they're getting fed. That's what's important, right? So, coming up soon, we're going to start seeing animals come attacking. So what we're going to do, the regular wooden fence takes wood. This one takes sticks. If you look up at the top there, you can see that we have 209 sticks and only 48 wood. We can make more sticks by using the chopping block. We can also make more wood by chopping down trees. And we're already chopping down these trees here. Oh, these bushes. We're getting sticks for the bushes. But we're chopping down some stuff. So I'm not worried about the one or the other. I think I want to do... Well, because you look at the integrity. The integrity of that's 20. The integrity of that is 10. Scrap metal's 20. We only have 339 scrap metal, and that's kind of a more limited resource. We can farm trees, right? So if you go to the wooden fence, that's a 20 integrity, 2 per little slot. You go here, it's a higher integrity, but it's also a lot more. I mean, it's more than twice as much wood per little bit. And you'll see when I put up the fence that I'm kind of going to put up a large fence. So I'm going to come to probably here and put up a long line across. I'd like to go all the way out, but it's not going to let me. So we're just going to go as far as it'll let me and click. We're just going to build one wall of our fence. We don't have all the materials, so it's going to make us, chop down some stuff. And we're going to chop down trees anyway, because they're kind of in the way. Let's see. The broadleafs are in the way. Broadleaf bushes are in the way. The 9 fruit bushes are, no, we don't want those. We might get these back here. 3 broadleaf bushes. And yeah. And we'll let Ken do his thing and chop down some stuff here in a minute. So we've got the 9 out of 10 scavenging progress. That means that the next time they scavenge this, because you've seen they've been over there a lot. The next time they scavenge this, it will be done, but the spaceship will still be here. So we need, at the research facility, she's into the metal refinement. So we're getting close to being at the end of her research. So we need to give her more to research anyway. And I kind of want spaceship deconstruction, and I also want construction basics. So this will let me get rid of this. This will let me build a house. So I want to do that and then that. And then after that, we're probably going to need wooden fortifications. And if we're being really honest with ourselves, I think the electrical grid after that's probably a good thing to research. We're not going to start in on electric yet, but having it researched is a good idea. So Rita's over there. She's getting a bunch of pumpkins. Look, she's transporting back 220 pumpkins. I paused the game immediately when I saw that coming. So, aggressive animals. You see how close they are, right? They're right over here, and it's just a bunch of bugs. It's an overgrown insect. I think they call them scarabi, something like that. It's a take on the word scarab. We didn't get our fence up in time. That's fine. What we might do, we're paused. He is constructing that fence, and Ken is cutting wood. So we've got 20 wood. Have they done the wood for the... Okay, the wood hasn't been placed for the rest of the fence. What we kind of need, let's go to defense. Let's go to fence. And we'll take this wood, and we'll go towards the spaceship. Now, he might not get it done in time, but if he does, that'll help us a little bit in that they're going to come from this direction. And if we stand here, they'll have to go all the way around while we have pot shots we can be taken at them. Unpausing. Ken is the only one with a weapon currently. We have not made any spears because our construction person has been busy. Our activities, crafting, right? Rock is our only crafter. He's been busy with construction, and he's currently still busy with construction, and we want him there. So maybe, nope, we don't want Ken to do any of that. Melody might be a good option to have as a level 2 crafter. No. Yeah, I think we're up against the time clock, and we've done the thing. So once they say aggressive, they will sit over here for a while and just kind of mill about. It will pause or slow down the game greatly when they go to start attacking. And it'll change from aggressive to attacking. So they've got the fence built all the way to the edge over there. Now Rock is taking wood over to this side, so that's good. Oh, we want a door. Just a little wooden door, maybe down here somewhere. So Melody researched metal refinement. That's fine. What that means is we can make, or should mean, we can make a furnace. Oh, we don't have any stone yet. Okay. Once we get some stone, we'll be able to make a furnace. And Melody also increased her intellect. Okay. Now the animals are attacking. So I'm going to just unpause it for a second. It's already taken the speed from top. In fact, you can't have it at top speed during an attack. So I unpaused. You see they're moving their way, right? But they're taking their time. These are coming over here to this path probably, and those are coming up that path. So we've got a little bit of time, but not a lot. So we need to take Ken, and we're going to draft him. What drafting means is you've taken control of him. You're telling him what to do now. And we're going to go and we're just going to sit him right in here. Now, Raka is on his way to make that fence, and Rita's still looking at the plants. We might grab Rita here in a minute and bring her inside. If they get kind of, yeah, there they are. Okay, so we're going to grab Rita. I paused. And we're going to draft her and bring her inside the fence. Oh, of course, Raka wants lunch. Oh, Jesus. Now, Ken is our only guy with a weapon. So it's all on him. This is kind of a lot of bugs, but it's not that bad. It's daytime. That's good because he won't miss as much. He won't miss as much, I said. And you see they're having to go up and around. But they've now gotten to the point to where they're on top of it. So we're running. We need to be able to kite them enough so that we can get away. And take some shots. So we're going to take a little damage. Raka's fleeing. We can go ahead and draft all of them. And then we'll just start attacking. This is not the best scenario here. This is not good. But there's only 3 left. We've got injuries all around, but they're not too bad. Okay, we've got 1 left. Where is he? If you click it, it'll show you where he's at. He's over here. So we've got Ken. Let's come over and get him. The other 3, we're going to undraft. See, it's bleeding, but not life-threatening. We're going to undraft, bleeding, but not life-threatening. They're going to go to bed and wait for treatment. Now, Ken has killed the last one. We're going to undraft him. Oh, I didn't mean to hit the escape button. And now you see why it's important to get weapons early. And we didn't do it. We botched. There's also harvesting tools and all this other stuff. Survival kit. That's that survival kit I was talking about. That's the backpack. To make it easier if they, if you send your survivor way up here to look at skin, the twisted plant, they'll take a backpack with them and yeah, be smart. Oh, and that's the other thing. So Ken is healing himself and everybody else sat down and waited treatment. He's not doing too bad at healing himself. So we'll just let him do that. And then hopefully he'll move on to healing the others and not go to sleep. If he does go to sleep, we'll force him to heal the others. Really? Dude, you're healed. We want Melody. So let's just make him healer. And then we'll do Rita next because they're both bleeding. Raka's waiting treatment too, but I think he's just being a baby. Oh, and we're going to go ahead and increase time. There's a chance, there's a time and place for actually going at the slowest speed when people are hurt because they might be bleeding out in an hour. So you want to be reacting to everything very quickly and in a very close to real time. Since they're not in any danger, I just went ahead and moved them up. Okay, so he healed Melody, and now Melody's healing Rita. So, and he's still healing himself. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Melody reached 5. We have 83 wood. What do you mean you're standing around, Raka? Oh, now they're eating melons. Oh, and now they're sleeping because they didn't get a lot of sleep. Okay. Let's do this. Go into quick recipes. So now we have 150 grain. And we did that because we just gathered a little bit that was kind of sitting over here. We might gather this too. 14 grain cobs. Let's go ahead and harvest that. And that's going to give us apparently a decent amount of grain. So we can go in and we could say grain porridge. Okay. We want to have 2 of those on hand. We can go in and we can go veggie porridge. We want to have 2 of those on hand. We can go in and we can say, nope, that's that. Tasty recipes. Yes, a buttermelon pie. We want to have 2 of those on hand. Now, I don't think we have any. Nope. Now, that will not probably make all of those. And we don't want to do too many because they will rot. Let's go over here and we can talk about rot. So as you hover over the stuff, you see buttermelon, okay? If it's outside on the ground, it's only going to last 12 days. The moment you put it under a roof, like it is now, it's going to last 36 days. If you refrigerate it, it'll last a freaking year. Grain, 18 days outside, just under a roof, you're already at a year. So grain is a really good, solid, stable, shelf-stable food. Now, obviously, you want to cook it. There's 5% chance of get poisoning on consumption if you're just eating grain. Obviously, we want to make it into grain porridge if we're going to eat that. And then, much like the melons, bush fruits are 12 days on outside, 36 under a roof, and a year refrigerated. Just under a roof, rations last forever. And everything, not just foodstuffs, has a shelf life. Now, as you can see here, that shelf life might be indefinite. But everything has one. So putting your stuff under a roof already is really good idea, especially straight from go. Even scrap metal, if it's left out in the elements, will rot away if we just leave it out there. It takes a while, but it does. So that's your lesson, kids. Put stuff under a roof. Okay, so we'll let people do their thing. They're doing their little relaxing, taking a walk. Rita's now harvesting a little bit more grain. Rock is finishing construction on the fence. Putting a door down here means, because I don't think they can go around this since this is a hill, and they can't go around. Oh, they can. They can go around that apparently, which probably means bugs can too. Oh, speaking of bugs, let's go highlight this big area. We're going to look for one bug, observe. Highlight these, we're going to butcher. Highlight these, we're going to butcher. And there was one over here, wasn't there? Where'd that guy go? We're going to butcher. Insect meat is still meat. So, looks like Rita made some porridge. And Raka's making some spears, and Melody's doing some researching. And Ken's out doing scavenging. So everybody is doing exactly what we want them to be doing. She made some veggie soup. Ken's now doing a bit of butchering, and Rita's doing the observe on the one. So, the bug I observed looks like an overgrown version of the pest that's known and hated on many worlds. Giving it a common bug name felt a bit underwhelming, so I chose the nice-sounding Scarabee. Unfortunately, it's a lot more annoying than some tiny insects that scuttle through your fridge. This one is big, impudent enough to attack humans and do some damage. The main problem is that these insects tend to swarm and work together in large groups, so they should not be underestimated, as we saw. Now we've got a new weapon. It's a spear. So let's go into our activities. Who was our other combatants? Hunt. I guess that'll tell us who was combat. Yeah. Rita was our other heavy duty combatant. She's got some skill in it. Nobody has an indifference, but nobody else has an interest either. So Rita's our next best. So we're going to go to her. We're going to go to equip, not the ranged weapon. We're going to go to melee weapon and then equip her with a spear. Now our unarmed goes down to 2. And since she's still crafting spears, that'll be good. We're going to go into the crafting table though while we're here. We're going to go craft. We're going to go crossbow. And we're going to make a couple of those. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Nope. Okay, good. It took. Now the crossbow takes metal alloys. We've got 53, so we'll be able to make a couple, but not a lot until we start making more metal. So we need stone. We just researched spaceship deconstruction, which is awesome. That means that when we can salvage this now. So now Ken can do that bit of scavenging. We need stone. So let's go here. We've got 1 rock chunk. We'll mine that. Over here, we've got a few. We'll mine those. Oh, we've got manure to look at. We need to observe manure. Look, it's poop. How much hay have we got? We've got 500 hay. We've got 600 sticks. I don't think we need to get any more sticks or hay. We've got stuff over here we could harvest, but I don't think we're going to do that. So up here, it also has, there's a bunch of stuff. There's like our temperature outside. If you're a Celsius user, you can set that to Celsius. We've got 5%. What is that, lighting? I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe that's, we're 5% into our research of construction basics. Yeah. But the spring over here, so the little blue dot here is winter. We're in spring. The red is summer. That's fall. And then I guess it's double fall. Anyway, fall moving into winter. And every day that passes brings us closer and closer. So now that we've also got some insect meat kicking around, we probably have the ability, to make some meat soup. And I think that's it. Yeah, meat soup is our next. We can make a couple of those. So what I like to do is have just a couple of each thing kicking around so that our variety can be there. You don't want to make too much, like I said. Let's see if we can find one. Do we have any on hand? We still do not have any on hand. Oh, we just ate our last soups. And they're going to bed now. Cooked meals don't last that long either. So I think grain is probably our longest type of thing. Let's see. We're not there yet. And when we harvest this grain, it's going to be 600, right? So we're currently at 179. And you can see on the shelf, 179 takes up 2 spots. I think 100 is the max. So 600 grain is going to take up 6 spots. Not terrible. We'll have plenty of room for that when the time comes. So now back to doing stuff. Rita's doing some grain porridge. Rocca made a spear. Melody's doing some research. Rocca made another spear, so we're going to make him get the other spear. Now Melody's the only one that's unarmed. And that's good. That's our researcher. We kind of don't want her to be out screwing about with combat. And as you can see, these guys still just kicking around. They're not doing anything. Oh, that one's dead. He's got a shelf life of 85 left. I think we're going to mark him to butcher. These don't come up with insect meat. They come up with actual raw red meat. It's not very different. It's about the same. Oh, did we just finish I think we finished our spear. So let's go. Yeah. Okay. And now he's crafting the extras. We just discovered manure. Yeah. So manure can help you with crafting fuel later to help you if you go down the route of a generator instead of solar or wind power. I tried a generator in my last playthrough and I didn't like it a lot. If you don't have the technology right away, what ends up happening is you have to manually turn it on and off a lot, and that's kind of annoying. They keep eating buttermelons. I wonder if that's... I guess that's okay. What's the shelf life on a buttermelon? 36 days under roof, and these are 4 days under roof. See, we want them eating the meals that we've prepared. One, the happiness factor is higher. When they just eat a buttermelon, their happiness effect is negative. When they eat a meal, their happiness is a positive, especially if they eat a good meal. Now, obviously, we don't have any good meals, but still. So we don't want them eating the raw buttermelons. The bush fruits, it's kind of up in the air. It's not too bad because there's not a negative. But those stay good on the shelf a lot longer than a meal. So let's go to our people and tell them to stop eating raw food. We don't want them to eat raw meat. We don't want them to eat raw vegetables or fruits or grain anymore. So no raw food. And then cooked meals, they can eat quick meals. That's all that stuff. And then other is only emergency rations at this point. So that's the level that we want them on. So let's go to copy and paste these over to everybody. Stop eating raw food, you yutzes. Ken is trying to destroy the spaceship and get it out of our way. Oh, he got electronics that time. That's awesome. That means that the research probably opened up some other stuff. Oh, we have pickling. That's probably from one of our other researchers led us down that. We've got a lot of options here. So let's go ahead and pause. Oh, risk of meltdown. That's good to go over too. So Raka's unhappy. He's got the gloomy personality. He's hungry. Why is he hungry? Oh, he's eating. So, I mean, okay, he's hungry because he's eating. Melody pissed him off. It's dark. And he was annoyed by it, Melody. So, yeah, him and Melody aren't getting along. We probably could do a thing since Raka's spending a lot of time at the workbench and Melody's spending a lot of time at the research bench. We could probably do the thing where we separate them. Okay, you two aren't getting along. I put the workbench over here behind this thing. So they're just not talking to each other a lot. We can also do the thing. We can control. It's dark. Oh, okay. You guys want light? Well, let's do something about that. Let's go to camp. Let's go to torch. And we're going to hold down the shift so that we get a little bit of, we get the option to keep them. So we're going to put a light there. We're going to put a light there. And then maybe we'll put a light right there. And then when Rock is done eating, he'll do that. And then we have we didn't pick our stuff. So pickling will let us take vegetables and put them in pickled jars. That obviously will increase their shelf life. What can we do with berries? I think berries are just wine making. So let's go ahead and put musical instruments on the list. And I think winemaking. So as you can see, we're still falling kind of behind on cooking. So we need to make sure that somebody is cooking almost 24/7 at this point. So let's go to activities. Let's find cooking. Rita is our cook. We've got her also doing ranching and planting and harvesting. So I think the harvesting is probably where we're taking up her time. but that does need to be done. So we'll let her go the way it is, and I think she'll probably be okay. So she's going to harvest those berries. We've now got construction basics. Raka's done his torches since he was crying about being dark. He's making one more spear, and then he'll move on to crossbows. Yep, Rita's now making some food. So, construction basics. That gave us all of this. All this housing stuff. We've got stairs and windows, and I'm making all the little stars go away. There's a couple of different ways you can make yourself a house. You can do a room. And what happens if, so we'll just do it as sheet metal because I don't want to make it. I'm going to cancel it. So you see, it'll just do that's it. It'll do a room, and you can go big or you can go small, and it kind of just does it, right? I don't love that because I like to do mine a little bit more custom. Typically, historically, I've just done kind of a square, and I think this time I might go a little fancier. We don't have a ton of wood yet, so I need to honestly, I probably need to clear all this out back here and put in a tree farm, because I don't like the idea of going out this far for trees. I guess it's not bad. That's not too terrible. I'm just always worried about that nest over there. So let's go ahead and mark these 76 small evergreen trees to be chopped down for wood. Get these others too. Cut those all down. I keep doing the escape. And that'll start us down the road of getting enough wood to start in with building a house. So we could do scrap metal, we could do hay, but those, as you see, are awful thermal insulation and very weak support. The very weak support means they can't go 2 or 3 stories, I think. It's somewhere in depends on how tall it is. It limits it, right? We can't do stone because we just don't have enough. We don't have a lot of stone at all. We might not have any right now. And then we could do like full on metal, but metal even is awful thermal insulation. So it's going to get cold if you don't have like good heating. So I always do wood as the initial flooring. And then from there, you're just, what kind of house do you want to design? Do you want just a big square? Do you want, a big U shape? So you have a single story, but you have all the rooms for living over here, and you have all the rooms for working over here, and then this is just a hallway between, or how do you do it? And that's completely up to you. I personally, like I said, historically have just done a 2-story. I end up putting in a 2-story house so that the second story is all the bedrooms and the first story is all the working. Like all this stuff that's down here right now would end up inside the house and will end up inside the house. But I think this time I'm going to try an actual design. Of course, as I'm thinking about it, I want the design to go down this way and be kind of a U shape like this, and then a similar shape to this down. Oh, dang it. Like another part of it down here, and then it wrap around, kind of a big U shape. So there's some over here, there's some over there, and there's some over here, there's some back here, but all of my junk is in the way. So I kind of went backed up to the fence, and I like this little bit of area behind the fence. So I don't want to go, I don't want to put the house out here. Yeah, I do this to myself a lot, where I start in with with designing the house and go, oh crap, I put my camp where I'm going to want to put my house. So I guess hindsight is 2020. Make sure if you're designing where you want to put a place, that you don't put your house in front of your, or you don't put your camp in front of your house. Let's see, how are we on food? We're doing really good on food. We got 210 fruits, 258 melons, some insect and raw meat, and a bunch of grain. And we're making those into, we're making some of each of that into grain porridge and veggie soup, and buttermelon pies. No one has cooking 3. I see. Okay. So she's making some meat soup. She will reach cooking 3 pretty quickly. Rita has interest in cooking, I want to say. Where's that on this? There it is. Yeah, she's interested in cooking. So her next level is probably going to be pretty soon. So she's got things in stock, right? She's got 2 grain porridge, 2 veggie soup, 2 meat soup in stock. And she can't make the buttermelon pie. So she's moved on to other stuff. So she's transporting sticks and, just doing a little bit of work. Now, see, Raka just made a crossbow. So I'm going to go back to Rita. She's our other combatant, right? Oh, maybe he didn't make the crossbow. Maybe he just finished the spear and was making a second crossbow. Let's see here. Yep, we got 2 spears. So he's making the first crossbow now. So at this point in time, this is what I would call the early game, getting to a point to where you're making food. You've got a bunch of raw materials. You've got them stored under a roof. So like this grain, that's going to last you all year, right? That's not going to go bad. And then we've got 600 more coming in at the end of the season, and we're not even to summer yet. So we're doing really good on our food. We just need, our next big push is going to be getting inside so that we have heat, right? That's going to be the 2 big things. Now we can go inside and just have a fireplace, and that will give heat. We can do heating stoves. And then you can also go down electricity and get powered heat. So there's some options there. And since we're not even to summer yet, our options are pretty wide open. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these 4 and move them. Oh, we're not going to move them yet because it's sleepy time. When they wake up in the morning, I think I'm going to move at least this stuff over here. He's coming back with more wood. We've got 300 now. So if you see on the happiness, he actually had something that was enough food variety. He's very pleased with the food variety, which is good. I often get the one that's, not enough food variety. So that's nice. He ate a quick meal at a table with variety, sat down and relaxed. He had a pleasant walk. He's got lots and lots of happiness going on right now. So, yeah. Which is good because he's the grumpy one. Everybody else, oh, he's actually a little unhappy right now. Oh, he might get happier as he starts his day because he's still sleeping. So that's Raka. Now they're all getting up and eating, doing their stuff, well fed. Yeah, see there, he just had a lot of happiness hit, and that's going to slowly add to his number. Rita's ecstatic. She's looking for fun things to do and wishes her sleep wouldn't be disturbed. Raka went all the way up to an 84. Melody's at a 60 and decreasing. Yeah. Melody reached 60, our 6 intellect. We've got wooden fortifications. Now, like I said, I want to move some stuff. So let's move the beds. We're just going to move the beds to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to move the enclosures. Oh, we can't even move them. Interesting. So we're just going to deconstruct both the enclosures. Nope, just both of these. Deconstruct. Deconstruct. Let them do some work. New weapon, crossbow. Let's go ahead and equip that. And then we're going to move some stuff. Some of this other stuff too. So let's move this to there. Move that to there as well. Go ahead and space them out a little bit. We got the room. And we're going to move this. We're going to move the torches. And honestly, we're even going to move the lightning rod. We do have beds just out in the open here, so let's go ahead and put some shelter over them. We're going to use sticks this time instead of the sheet metal because sticks are renewable. We finally have some. And I think, what's Rocket doing? Moving. No, he's going to sleep. We don't want him to go to sleep. Get up, buddy. Do the construction first. Now you can go to sleep. Oh, you idiot. He's eating on his feet. Not sure why he would have done that. Maybe his chair's not at the table. the electric grid hints. We're not going to bother with that. I know what I'm doing with the electric grid. Oh, and now if we harvest right now, we get 590 grain. So we're close to the point where we need to harvest, and it's not even summer yet. So what that's going to end up doing is we're going to probably have another harvest of grain before winter. And our people are probably going to be eating a lot of porridge and maybe a lot of bread if we can start getting some fat. Because I think you need bread to make, or I think you need a fat to make bread. Yeah, oils and fats. Bread's a good one, though. In fact, let's go ahead and see. Here's all our new powered lighting and heating options. Here's our new production option, an electric stove. I've never really gone that route. The cook stove itself doesn't seem to take all that much fuel, so I'm usually pretty happy to keep that. And power options, we get the pole, we get the power cell generator. I don't even know what that thing is. We get the power switch. That's something that's really important. That allows you to depower everything and repower everything. Like you wanted to turn off all of the lights at once. And then we got new fortifications. Let's see. Currently researching musical instruments. We got winemaking after that. We've got all the options for powered refrigeration now. I think we're going to research some oil extraction, antibiotics, pickling, and maybe, and that's all we got. That's all we have room for. Oh, and we want to start down our housing. So, and you might have noticed there's flooring and there's a floor. The floor is like the foundation of the house. Flooring is like carpet or tile. And then if you go 2 stories, you have to put in a ceiling before you can put on a roof. And that's on both stories. So at first story, you have to put in a ceiling, and that ceiling becomes the floor for the second level. And then in order to put a roof on, you have to put a ceiling on the second floor as well. For some reason, it's not like that on the first floor. It's weird. And then of course, walls, that's self-explanatory, and roofs. When we get to the roof, I'll show you all the options there. Balconies are odd. I think their initial reasoning was so you could have a house where they could shoot out the sides, like in case of animal attack. But I like to use fortifications for that instead of the house. And then obvious options with windows and ladders and stairs and whatnot. So let's find some flooring. Let's find a floor shape that we want. We definitely want wood. And how far out? We can make it pretty far out. So I'm going to give us a walkway between the fence and the house. And I think we're going to go 8 long by 5 wide. Yeah, I think that's a good. And then I'm going to hold shift when I click here because I want to continue more foundation. So now we're going to go to the side. We're going to go very similar. We're going to go 4 wide by 8. We're going to Do that as well. And then I want to do another one just like this over here. But as you... Oh, son of a gun. I got button happy. But as you can see, if I wanted to go 5 wide, I can't because I got my stuff in the way here. So we're just going to let this go. And then basically I want to make this the storage room, like storage and maybe even a couple of the workstations. I'm not sure what this is going to be yet, but then the room over here is going to be split up into bedrooms. And I might even do like, this is storage and this middle area is where all the workstations are. Yeah, that sounds better. Or maybe the other way around. This is workstations and this is storage. Oh, looks like Rita apparently auto harvests when it's ready. So Ken, instead of storing the wood, took it from his cutting down here and took it straight to the construction site. Now Rocca's going to construct the floor. Why? Why are you eating on your feet? There's a table. Is it too far away? I'm sorry. Crybabies. Uh-oh. So we're going to go ahead and cancel this. Son of a gun. Okay. Cancel. Cancel. You see the height difference? I want it to be all the same, on the same plane. And it's not. So I'm going to have to fix that. I could do a stair step down, but I just don't want to. What that ends up doing is making it difficult for roofs. I can't figure out how to highlight all of them without highlighting these over here. Oh. I just saw that if you press C, it's cancel. See that right in there in the, it says cancel, and then down at the bottom, C. So I just started using the C button. That was much easier. So now we go back to flooring, back to wood, and I think if I go here and click, it'll keep the same size. Yeah. So now we just need to go out. What'd I say? Let's go 10. By 4. That'll probably be good. I might even do the thing where I pull this up farther. It wants a stair now. It'll do that almost always when you're doing a floor that's too high. It'll say, oh, you need a stair. So we need to figure out where we're going to do our entrance out. I think it's probably going to be, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could do exactly in the center. And I like that. It'll probably look nice. And then we'll let the pause go. Okay. That makes me feel better. It was close. So now we have, you see our food jumped up. We have 739 grain porridge. I think probably going to go to the stove, go to grain, and make sure we always have 4 of these on hand. So she'll cook a little more because we can't make buttermelon pie right now. And we might run out of meat for meat soup. Yeah, because we only got 40 raw meat. We need to start pickling our melons. Oh, we still don't have the furnace option. Would somebody go and get these rocks? Let's see. That's going to be mining. Oh, poor Ken. He's busy. Yeah. He's busy with scavenging and construction and everything else. Oh, and cutting down the trees. So let's see. Who's going to mine? Rocca's busy constructing. Let's do Rocca and a Melody at 2. Yeah. What are you doing? He walked right by the table. I don't know what to do with these guys. Okay, so now Rock is going over and finally doing the metal. Or not the metal, the rocks. Gathering some rocks. I just need this furnace. Ah. So now we're going to make a couple of these. We're probably going to put these. I kind of like to put them near the house, typically. So I think we'll go, and we'll put 4 along this edge right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of wood, but I think we're going to want a lot of things brewing. Ah, Rita finally reached cooking 3. And we have oil extraction. So oil extraction is an oil press. Put that inside. I'm not sure where yet, but we're just going to drop it right there, middle of the room, because what we'll do is we will move it once we start really doing our stuff. Now she's getting grain and pumpkins for pumpkin pie. Or buttermelon pie. So that'll start being a better meal as well. Well, at least Ken's sitting down to eat. Not everybody's dumb like Rocca. So now you hear Ken over here going to town on the landing pod. He's trying to actually salvage it, and that'll get it out of our way. I think we're probably about due for another attack. And I don't like that because we're not really ready. We have given him... I wonder if we have another... No, we have not made another crossbow yet. But we do have 2 ranged people now. That's at least something. Let's make some walls. Let's get some walls ready for them in the morning. We're going to go wood. And we're going to go down, and we're going to go around. I'm not going to fill in this front wall yet because I might pull out this floor another tile or 2. But I might put this front wall here in. Yeah. And we're going to block in a bit. go one more wall, one more wood to there, to there. Like I said, I might pull this out 2 or 3. I think I can. I mean, it can go out a decent amount. Oh, I can go right past the spaceship. Well, it gets to a certain spot, though, and it has to go up because of the elevation of the ground. Yeah, let's just do that. We're going to put a nice big metal door on the front door. Ha! And then we're going to put some small doors on the inside. Huh, if I just use a doorway. Yeah, let's just use a doorway over here. I said, didn't I? I said that we were about due for an aggressive animal attack. And we have blowy uppy ones. Only 11. Doesn't look like any are the oversized ones. Yeah, it's not too terrible. Okay. So once they go to attacking, we'll draft Rita and Ken. Oh, we're actually... Ha! So the aggressive animals were no match for the Ulfen. Let's ferment some of the wine. We'll keep like 10 glasses of wine on hand. I don't want to use through a lot of our fruit. Oh, does that really? 100 per? Maybe we don't want to ferment our berries. Well, I guess we don't have anything else to do it with, so maybe. Oh, it's 100 per 5? Okay, that's probably okay. And then we're not going to make a ton of antibiotics, but we'll keep a couple on hand. And then once the floor and the walls done over here, we'll start installing the storage. About to rot away. I wonder if I can make the time. So we got 19%. If ranching, large drying rack, wooden. We'll just have them go straight to it. If we make a drying rack, we can dry the meat. And then we can go here. I wonder if I can direct him to pick that up. Nope. Okay, so how do we get that moved to the drying rack quickly? Let's not store raw. That's not going to do it. Oh, let's not store raw meat here. Yeah, that'll do it. And then that should move the meat to the drying rack. I know I can do the raw red meat there, but I don't know if the insect meat will go here. Smoked meat and hides. Doesn't look like it. Ha. Everybody likes pie. Oh, they're transporting. Nice. So the meat made it to the dryer. Now I just need to know. Yeah, it looks like once it hits the drying stage, it probably loses its rotting away stages. Oh, we found a power cell. That's nice. Oh, we don't have any queued. Oh boy, we got to get some resources going, or some researching going. Sorry, the scramble to save 21 steaks. Oh, let's see. So the advanced research desk, all that means is it's powered, and it helps it move along a little quicker, but we don't have powered sorted yet, so we're not going to worry about that. Concrete and brick, we're not going to worry about that. Heat pumping, sensor devices. Put some heat reacting liquid in a glass cylinder and you have a thermometer. Attach a microprocessor to it and you have a thermostat sensor, capable of triggering smart devices in its network at given temperature. An infrared camera placed on rotating, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I needed the other day. I couldn't get there. I couldn't find CPUs. That's what I needed for the generator to turn on and off automatically. Unfortunately, I never did find it, but it's here. Yay. What else? So we have fuel that we can make out of manure, and we have plenty of Ulfin nearby to gather manure, so we don't need to do that. Flare shielding is nice, but I don't think we need it yet. Making insects into leather. Again, we have Ulfin nearby and we'll get hides, so we don't need leather that way. We have food sorted, so we don't need hay sausages, because gross. Night goggles might be kind of cool to research. It's only 3 hours, and it really eliminates the nighttime negative on ranged combat. So we'll do those. Let's decide on a power source. I don't think we're high in the world, so the wind turbines are probably going to be mid-use. Solar panels are complicated because when it rains and when it snows, they're less useful. We could go the route of diesel generators. I suppose. I think I'm going to go with renewable energy. So the solar panels make 20 and are problematic for times of year. Now the wind turbines are too. They don't, there can be, like during heat waves, I think it is, wind doesn't blow as hard. So it's probably a mix of the twos, honestly, where we need to be. So let's go both of those, and then energy storage and refrigerators. We've got 161 wood still, and we are currently creating the last of that, so we're going to need more wood. Oh, the spaceship's gone. Yay! Yeah. So the insect stuff did not... what can we make out of insects? Oh, let's go ahead and pickle some vegetables. Again, 100 raw vegetables to make one, which means I can't make two. Six. So we can't make that. We can't make grain. Okay. We can't dry insect stuff. What research did we do to do with insects? I don't think we've done any of it. But it's only 10. It's only 9. So I think we're just going to let it go. We can maybe push to do more meat soup. There is 0 in stock, so Rita's probably cooking now. Yep. Oh, we never put a door. I thought we did. Yeah, I put doors in everywhere. Oh, did I just cancel all the construction? It's possible. So there's that. And then another doorway. Wooden. Let's put them in the middle. Oh, for turbines. Yep, all our stuff's coming into roost. Oh, the oil press. Maybe that was where we could use insect stuff. Extract vegetable oil. Nope, that's grain. So let's go ahead and keep a little bit of that on hand. Because we have plenty of freaking grain. Yep. Defenses, fences, wooden. Let's go ahead and run this out a few blocks. And in a bunch. And then I'm not sure where we're going. Night goggles, solar panels, wind turbines, about to rot away. Rita's cooking up a storm. Let's move this storage inside. So if we did one here, and then one down the center and one down the side. Yep. For now, we can just do that. And that's going to be more than enough because that's what we have over here. And then those shelves are done, so we just say empty and deconstruct. Fuel mixing, brewing, Let's just do all the liquid. Melody's in a risk of meltdown. What's wrong, Melody? Crushingly unhappy. So she's hungry. Well, go get something to eat. There's plenty of food. Few fun things. Okay. Disturbed sleep. Okay. All right. So a few fun things to do. We knew that was coming. So let's go and make our stuffs. Let's make a hand pan. Let's make a didgeridoo. Uh-oh. We don't have enough materials because we don't have that much metal. Yeah. Where's the thingy? Did I ever make a furnace? I never made a furnace. So let's go to production. We're going to make a furnace. And then what other leisurely stuffs do we have? We have some statues we can make. That seems silly. But maybe we'll do that. How much stone did we get? We've got 80. So let's just make a little guy. And we'll put it right over here. So I think also as they're progressing in their skills, I think that also affects their speed. Nice. Some more meat dried. Now we have dried meat as an option. And all that means is that under the roof, it's going to store a lot longer. And under, if we refrigerate it, it'll store for 2 years. And then we can still make our meals. If you look in our quick recipes, like our meat soup. So you see over here to the right, the meat is 10. And the group includes red meat, chicken, insect, dried meat, and whatever that last thing is. Is that human meat? That looks like it looks an awful lot like a thigh, but whatever. We're not going to question that. We're just going to say that we now have dried meat. So that's good. And I think now that we have the option of drying our meat and we have 2 people with ranged weapons, it's probably a good time to start stocking up a little bit. Maybe later in the summer, we'll make sure that we have a nice amount of meat. Oh, what else is rotting away here? Oh, one of our foods. Yeah, that's to be expected. Oh, hi. Hi, little buddy. What you got going on? Once they get this shelf emptied out, we'll go through and is this on the ground? Scrap metal. Oh. Once we get the shelf empty out, we'll move some of these stock things maybe over to here. Let's see. How big is this house going to be? So we want, nope, that's flooring. floor. We want it to be the same as this. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want it to be 5. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's only going to be to here. So we have plenty of room over here to continue stocking or to continue storing our construction materials. So once they tear this down, we'll make that level or this row into a stockpile and this row into a stockpile. Then we'll tear down all this. We might even turn around the side that's open. I don't know. It seems to work okay to come out the back of this and into the... Yeah, it's probably fine. So let's go ahead and move the stove in. We're going to move it into a corner. Maybe no, right here. Right? And then we'll move the... Where's the other things? Move the bench in. And it might move over here. And then we're going to move the research bench in. Oh, no, we can't put things there. Dumbass. That's going to be where the doorway is. So we got to move that to somewhere else. And then this can actually move right next to that. And then the research bench will move to the back. Nothing like drinking wine for breakfast. Jesus. You guys. There's other foods. Yeah, there's veggie soup, grain porridge, and meat soup available, and they drank wine for breakfast. Yeah, I know there's insufficient storage. I know there's no research bench, too. They're working on it. Yeah, that's about to rot away because they're drinking wine. Oh, and now that we got the furnace up and running, we want to make alloys from stock. We don't want to do it that way. From scrap metal until we hit 10. No, until we hit 100. We made some pickled vegetables. We're done with all our research. Let's get the freezers going. And then maybe some of the other automated defenses. Searchlights, auto turrets. Let's go ahead and research the shielding. And maybe, yeah, that should be it. Scavenge, rotted away. Okay. And now let's go ahead and do that one. Deconstruct. This one. Deconstruct. And then what's this middle one? Deconstruct. If one of you guys could do this deconstructing before you go to bed, that'd be great. Thank you. Now we'll go back to the floor, back to the wood, start here, right? And it was 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 by how much? Oh, we don't want to do, I got it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only want to do this far because I have to click inside here to make it. So, and then we don't want stairs here. And we want more flooring, more wood. And we're going to start here and go out. Oh, and you know what? It doesn't have to be the same size as the other side. It can be longer. Let's go ahead and go. Music night's a great idea. Go ahead and do it. Housing, flooring. Be nice if you didn't interrupt me, though. So let's go a little longer because this is going to be our bedrooms. And it looks like we have the options. So let's just go as long as we have and hit all of it. Oh, and we're getting a bunch more grain. Currently, we're at about 550. 700 on hand total. Oh, because she's got some sitting out here. We've got both the musical instruments now. Yep. We need a little bit more wood, which means I do believe that we're going to need to start farming trees. So minimum growth temperature is 14. Temperature tolerance is negative 40 to 104. These give more wood, but have a less growing time. Let's go ahead and do these for now. Okay, so we got aggressive animals again. We've got a bunch down here in these melons. Oh, and interestingly enough, just down the hill, we could research the twisted plant. We haven't researched that yet. Is that the only thing that's down here that we haven't researched? I think so. Oh, what's that? Small flying lizard. Oh, awesome. So these are down there too. We need to remember that because we need to start researching those soon. Because that's not going to be enough silicone to keep us in silicone for very long. So we're going to go ahead and pause it for a second. If those guys make it up here, we're going to need the defense. We're going to need one more tower. We're going to go right in line with this one. and just a little bit of ways. And what that's going to do, that's going to give us the option to have 2 shooters that are right there. And then we're going to take this fence and we're going to extend it just a little ways. And then we're going to hope. Oh, they're doing their music tonight. Okay. Well, you do your music, and hopefully these animals won't. Somebody killed one. Huh. Anyway. Music night ended. Everybody's going to sleep except Raka's going to eat. And then we're going to make him construct the tower. We don't necessarily need the fence to go out that far, but we do need the tower. So we'll make him do that before he goes to bed. Oh, crap. Here comes the animal attack. What else we didn't do? We didn't make our goggles. Yeah, our night vision goggles. We didn't make those. Oh, well. So we're going to draft him, and he's going to come over to here. We're going to go ahead and put it up to 2 because we have a decent time before they get up here. I don't know what way they're taking, but hopefully they won't come around this back. Oh, yep, there they are. Coming around the back. Crap. Rita, we're going to draft you too. We're going to go ahead and slow this down because this seems to be getting less than good. Melody, come on, draft you. Get over here by the tower. Raka. Oh, Raka's vomiting. Great. There's a lot of bugs. There we go. And now we undraft everybody and probably only a little bit of healing. And then they destroy the torch, which is no big deal. So there you go, gang. There's first few hours of look into it and see how it works, see how the game works. It's a fun little game. I've really enjoyed it. I've spent hours and hours plugging away. I've got I deleted it because I kind of felt like I could do better, but I've played 1 or 2 games where I've went years, 3 to 4 years into the game. You get really deep into energy management and tower defense, like I was saying. So this is very simple with okay, funneling them into one spot and having, in a perfect world, I'd have this fence all the way out and maybe only have a door here in the middle and have 2 turrets here and 2 turrets over here and funnel the enemies all through one spot and have everybody in the camp firing at them. That's the perfect world. Obviously I'm not there yet, but it's close, right? It's not that far away. And before winter comes, it'll be that level of defensible. But I've been deep enough in the game where there's, I don't have them yet. Where's the research? Yeah, these automated turrets. You can have automated turrets that shoot bullets. You can have automated turrets that shoot rockets. There's all kinds of that nonsense. There's improved weapons. Let's see if I can find them down here. There's the pulse rifles, railgun snipers. These things have insane range and really good damage. Like that's the next level. It's funny because usually you can scavenge one here or there, but I haven't gotten any of those. But yeah. Let me know if you like the different content, and I will probably keep playing this a little bit longer here and keep the camera running and maybe even talk into a second episode. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. I'm Golden Demon. Later.